Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett and I'm the founder and owner of TechFuseNope, and today I am going to do class 7 for the hacking classes, and this class will be an overview on malware. Now this will be an overview over many different types of forms of malware, but in the future classes, I think including this one, it's going to be 9 in total. I'm not exactly sure about the total number dealing with this overview. But it's all going to be theoretical based. This is not going to show you how to make malware, how to make viruses, how to make worms, how to make logic bombs, botnets, ransomware, and so on and so on. This is just going to be theoretical behind it, so you know the mindset of the hacker, you know the mindset of the person trying to get the stuff off, and you know some possible solutions on how to get the stuff off. Now, one thing to keep in mind is I'm not doing a class right now. I will do it in the future showing you how to make some of this stuff, but I'm not doing a class at this given time showing you how to do it because I just simply don't have the hardware. If you want to help me out on that, I have a Patreon campaign. For those of you who don't know, you need a hacking lab, and this costs about several $1,000s, and we're talking about close to $5,000 to $10,000 easy, and that's not a easy thing for most people to come around. So keep in mind that will be in a far future if it ever happens, where I show you how to actually make the stuff, because there's some cool things I can show you. But anyways, and the reason why you want a hacking lab is you don't want to use your actual computer and actual network, and you want to have it off the internet and with no way in the world for it to get on the internet, because it's illegal if it does. But anyways, as far as things goes, let's play a personal advertisement, and then let's get into the overview for the next few classes. Thanks for sticking around during this transition. Now, if you want to help me out at all, either by financial or other means, then feel free to click the Patreon button to go to my Patreon campaign, and that way you can donate there and check out what I plan to do with money. Or you can click the PayPal button and you can donate there. You can either donate one time there or do a monthly reoccurrence. And lastly, if you don't want to help out with money, either because you just don't have it or whatever it is, then feel free to share this video and share my other videos, and please check out the top button to go to my main channel. But anyways, hope that you like this video, and let's bring it back to the actual video. Welcome back. Now, first things first, is this is going to be a PowerPoint type of video, so I'm not going to really show any actual video. It's going to be mostly PowerPoint, words come up, whatever. And the reason for this, again, this is a theory-based class. This is not a practicality. Good reason for that, again. But as far as the second and more important thing I want to mention, malware can affect anything with an outside connection. So, things like your microwave, your fridge, your car, garage door opener, things like that. If they don't have a connection, if someone has to physically modify something to gain access, and I'm talking about if they have to, like say for example, with my car, using that as an example, it's a 98 car, so it has a OBD, so it means it has a computer for emissions and all the other checks. Someone has to physically plug in something to mess with the computer to upload whatever malware. Now, because it has no way of wirelessly transmitting the data, that means in order for someone to collect the data, given that it could store data, then they will have to plug in something again to collect the data at a later date, or at that time, depending on what they're doing. So that's very important. So like your microwave, you'll have to take off the entire panel and somehow gain access to the computer in the microwave in order to mess with it. Your fridge, same thing. So generally speaking, yeah, you could put malware on these things, But realistically, these are probably going to be protected out anything else. Now, with cars that connect to Wi-Fi, cars that can update, which the Tesla cars can. I'm not going to talk about security behind them because I generally don't know it right now. I would really like to talk to them and talk about the security behind it. But as far as the potential, there's obviously a potential there. For example, if a microwave somehow ever does connect to the Wi-Fi for whatever reason, or Bluetooth, if a fridge connects to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, you can spread malware. But for the most part, yours probably doesn't, unless if you either live really far in the future or if you have a lot of money. So for the most part, some devices are protected. But what devices aren't? Well, what operating systems aren't? Android, iOS, Android for the mobile platforms, also the Android computers. iOS is the Apple's mobile platforms, at its times iPads, iPhones, and the iWatch. The OS X, and yes, OS X can be affected. OS X is the Macintosh. It's the Apple's operating system. OS X can be affected, and in fact, I actually do have a video on how to remove a particular type of malware called adware. So I even have proof positive that it could be infected. In fact, I even show you where mine was infected and how I took it off. And a lot of people, in fact, I got a bunch of links on that, which is kind of nice. So the other operating systems, the major ones, is Linux and Windows. Windows is obvious. Linux you can, and just like OS X. So why do you hear Windows being affected most often? Well, go to any school, go to any government building, go to pretty much any corporation, go to pretty much anywhere. Hardly anyone has Linux because, let's just get down to it, there's hardly anything actually capable with it. Hardly anything has the compatibility with it, and hardly anyone actually knows how to use it. Now, I'm not talking about the advanced users, I'm talking about the old timers, the average Joe, the one that has an hour a month to play with a computer. They don't have time to figure out all the stuff with Linux. And the reason why OS X is not really affected that much, or at least known to be affected that much, look at the cost. I could buy 10 Windows computers for the cost of one of the worst Macintoshes. I do the math. There you go. So that's a huge thing to keep in mind. But as far as things goes, what is malware in a nutshell? Malware is a piece of software that can be used for malicious purposes and is made to do one of a few things: to display something that the end user does not want, to capture information, to remove information, or to spread, or to trigger itself in an event, and whatever it triggers the end user does not want. And I don't mean like the end user just got stupid and programmed something stupid. I'm talking about they download something and someone purposely made it for these reasons. So, good forms of malware, because yes, there is good forms. Homing software. So homing software like Cerberus for Android. There's some for others for Android, some for the iPhone, Find My Phone, or whatever it's called. The Prey for the Linux, OS X, and Windows. So why are these considered as malware? Well, even though you upload it on your devices, you're not the end user at that time. The thief, basically, they're made to call for home, to show what they see, and to help get your device back if someone steals it. So the thief is the end user. The thief does not want this. The thief did not okay the installing. The thief did not okay for the thing to capture the information and bring it back to you. And these are good forms of malware, because what it does is, while you did put it on your device, and at that time you're the end user, someone else took it, they're now the end user, they start playing with it, you triggered it, because you act as the trigger person, they start collecting all the information without the end user's knowledge, hopefully, and send it back to you. And that way you can get your device back and become, again, the end user. So those are good forms of malware, at least in my opinion. But bad forms is ones that obviously get your banking information, your emails, and all the other stuff. I'll get into that as time goes. Some of the malware that I'm going to talk about: viruses, worms, which you probably heard about, Trojans, rootkits, logic bombs, botnets, ransomware, and polymorphic malware. I'm also, with the viruses, I'm going to talk about armor viruses, which gets into how the virus can protect itself. So when a virus scanner starts scanning the system, the virus itself will detect the scan initialization, and it will actually do something with the code to make it where it's near impossible for the virus scanner to find it if it doesn't already know its signature. Very important. So, as far as some things that you got to keep in mind is, how hard is it to remove malware? Well, I'll tell you right now, most of the time you can probably take off small things, but most of the time you're going to have to back up the important information that's unaffected. And if you don't know if it's infected, you need to go and back up only things that you made and know line by line if it's infected or not. And maybe even have a authoritative figure go through it and figure out if it's infected or not. Put it on a backup drive or whatever it may be. Wipe the operating system and rebuild the operating system. Sometimes it takes that, because some of these things you can delete portions of it, and if a file or two stays there and they get executed, they can recreate themselves. It's really, really, really difficult to do this. But anyways, this has pretty much been the overview on malware, and I'll get into a little bit more. The next video will be on viruses, worms, and armored viruses, which is very, very important. The armored viruses will actually get into how to actually be in the mindset of the hacker, of the person who's making the virus. But anyways, this has been Craig Bennett, the founder and owner of TechFuseNope, and if you like this video, then please leave a like, please subscribe, and please share. Also, please feel free to check out the Patreon campaign. Again, it'll help in getting the hacking lab. And also, if you do have any questions about this or anything else, feel free to leave that in the comment section. If you got a tip, leave that in the comment section and I'll get to it as quickly as possible. You can also email me on the TechFuseNope website. My email is on there. And again, please leave a like, please subscribe, and please share. And hope you have a great day.